2, 1.
Welcome to Antimatters. Hello everyone. Welcome to the first of 2, or 3 maybe, Ant Cave tours. These are to follow up from the tours at the beginning of the year. A lot has changed, so let's get to the ants. First up, the neglected Octospinosis. They're real stunners of an ant. 6 months ago, their home looked really nice, although a little bit small, and the whole fungus looked really healthy though, so I was quite happy in that department. I was feeding them barely anything, and since last time, I've upped their meagre rations a little bit, and they've responded. 6 months odd ago, you can see everything was going well though, but they had a minging bit. I think it was made from mostly just dead plant matter that they piled up. Are they growing, slowing, or going though? Let's have a look. The trash pillar is definitely growing. It must serve some purpose, I believe. Their numbers are certainly growing too, and they handled these petals with ease. They absolutely love their flower leaves though. Or not flower leaves, petals. Now the fungus. It's definitely grown. I think it's maybe tripled the old area now. On the diet side of things, they enjoy most leaves I've found, and they haven't been too fussy. And they also enjoy the green fly that come in on the plants. Rest in peace this green fly. They seem to be doing really well though. I'm in no rush to make them do anything either because I quite enjoy them this size. I like my colonies small and manageable to keep them fun to keep. It means you get the best ratio of input to output. Let's move on to the Pogomyrmex barbatus. This absolute beauty and unit of a queen had 3 workers last tour and a small amount of brood. Things were looking good, but it was definitely going to be a while before I saw any sort of growth. I was happily confident though that they'd persist because everything seemed to be going okay with them. So are they growing, slowing, or going? Luckily for me, these girls are definitely growing. There's at least 13 little workers now and a good pile of brood. Touch wood, they maintain this trajectory. I quite like it. On to the golden girls. The Free Queen Flavus colony from Ant Ramblings. Over winter, I didn't hibernate them much, but I did give them maybe 4 or 5 weeks in the cold. It did the job luckily, but I don't recommend it. I did have another queen as well, and she didn't make it through winter. These girls though had a mighty pile of eggs ready for spring. Let's see how the babies have turned out and how they've fared. It's hard to see, but worker count is definitely on the up. I moved them into a nano with a tub attached. It was quite an expansion from their little test tube pod, and they seem to have settled in quite nicely. It seems to be catering for all their needs nicely, and I'm definitely appreciating the bigger outworld. I'm hoping in the next 6 months they keep up their steady growth, and I'm hoping one day I'll have a big Flavus queen like Ants England. Onto the action-packed acorn ants. Last time, they were doing okay, I guess. Surviving well, but their population was very steady, and they didn't really experience any growth. 1 worker would be born, 1 worker would die. They're so boring. They are cute though, I gotta give them that. Even sped up like 20 times though, they don't move much. They don't really do much of anything. 6 months on, it's exactly the same story. They do have more brood, and there's likely some elates gonna pop up soon, but not really much gain in workers. It's time for the Scutellaris. The Cremogasta Scutellaris looked alright last time, and they are really good aesthetic looking ants. Growing, slowing or going? These girls, they are going. Well, they've already gone. They've now gone to their forever home, where they'll be looked after by an excellent ant keeper. They couldn't be in better hands, to be honest. It's Lasius niger time, or European crazy ants as I like to call them, because they're crazy and they're European. These girls haven't stopped growing since they were initially created as a colony via experiments. In winter, there were huge mounds of larvae and eggs laid out ready for spring. Are they growing, slowing or going though? These girls over the past 6 months have 100% definitely grown. The Saturn is now heaving. I think they've doubled in population easily. Like, no question about that. This bit as well is just for beta cats. Check out my mouldy bit of tube. This tube has been dry for months, but the cotton has been sludged. The egg and larvae pile remain unchanging. The cocoons are everywhere now though. The engine of production is at peak performance. I don't have a clue what to do when all of these cocoons enclose as well. I might put 2 Gen 3 medium nests into the Saturn, or I may upgrade them to a Saturn XL. They're definitely going to need some additional housing soon though, I think. A part of me wants a mature 15k colony, but space is limited, but we'll have to see how they continue to grow. I'm not going to put them on a diet, that's for sure. Time for one of my absolute most favourite ants of all time. Ladies and gentlemen, may I have your attention please? If you don't know, meet Manika McLeod and her Rubida family. After surviving the challenge last year, she'd grown into one of my favourite queens. Ferocious, caring and dependable, McLeod's empire grew around her. After winter, progress was looking a little bit slow. They didn't look in trouble, but not 1000%. I praised Her Highness daily and left offerings twice weekly, and it seems to have done the job. They were about 20 workers last tour, with a few larvae and quite a few eggs scattered in there. Now, the eggs have all grown up and the queen has laid even more. There's near 100 workers now, I'd say, and they seem super resilient. I'm comfortable I won't find McLeod dead anytime soon, but I still treat her like it's the last time I'll see her every time. I really do appreciate though every time that I can look inside of this colony and they're still alive, and it's just really fulfilling, these ones. Onto some smaller ants, the Strong Testicles and the Chi-Spitum Queen. Last time, both queens were getting along great, and the brood looked heavy on the floor. I always enjoyed watching the parasitic queen hugging the Chi-Spitum Queen all of the time. 6 months on though, I never see the queen anymore, because the tube is top to bottom with brood. They're certainly growing. They mostly live in the Saturn pillars now, the queens, instead of the test tubes, so it is a little bit hard to get a glimpse. Definitely coming along nicely though. So yep, that's them done. Next up, the Iberiformica subrufa. At first there was many, and now there is more. These are a good sturdy species. I definitely recommend them over Formica fusca, to be honest. They're slow growing at room temperature, but they grow rapid at 25 Celsius. I alternate these girls every couple of months from hot to cold, just to manage their population, but it's so easy. I think it's quite safe to say that these girls will live long and prosper. 2 more species till the fireworks anyway. Don't skip though. So, Plagiolepsis, small but cool. Over winter they slowed a little bit but retained a lot of brood. They were growing slow for a small ant though, and I was a bit suspicious of what was going on. 6 months on, the brood has gone absolutely mental. There's so many larvae now. There's one problem though. The workers haven't really gone up for 6 months. I was quite confused for a bit until I found small workers were trickling out of the nest. Last month, I managed to secure the nest though. I think it's about time we introduced a new species anyway. These are tiny ants and I got them from AntCon. I can't actually remember their proper name, but I call them Minimerms chlamydius. I've had them a little over a month now, and the population is starting to skyrocket, to be honest. When I first got them, there were maybe 5 workers and, from what I could see, 1 queen. But now there seems to be 2 queens. And they now possess a male. He has really beautiful wings. So, we've made it to my favourite entry of today's video. And, it'd be a lie if I said that I'm not absolutely over the moon and probably a little bit proud, a little bit too proud of these girls. They are the splendid looking yellow crazy ants. 6 months ago there was about 20 workers. There was a big photogenic queen and a bundle of eggs as well, and larvae, being cared for by the little workers. Things seem to be steadily heading in the right direction. I got these from Rich over at Antantics, and as expected, they were strong and vigorous. At this point, I hadn't had them for very long. Yellow crazy ants have a habit of dying though, so I didn't have my hopes up that they'd last too long. I was really hoping though that they'd just keep ploughing on. So let's do the grand reveal. 6 months on, my God, they've grown. In fact, they've grown more than I could have ever dreamed for. There's hundreds of them now, tube after tube after tube. The floor is littered with cocoon casing as well, my absolute favourite type of rubbish. They've turned out as well to be really easy to keep and clean. They're super fast ants, and you'd think that, that'd be really hard to clean out because 1 second and they'll be up your tweezers and running away. But I suspect that they didn't develop their super speed to run into battles. My suspicion is they run away so fast because they're scared to basically get away. And when I clean, all I have to do is pick up a food bowl, give it a little flick, and they've all ran off really fast. It's actually really easy, and I do enjoy looking after them and maintaining them. It's not a chore at all. I really do hope that I can stay asleep and keep this dream going, because I don't want to wake up. The cherry on top with this colony would be if they inbreed, but I think that's still quite far off. Eventually though, I do think they're going to get there, and if they can inbreed, we'll be able to find out. Both as a keeper and a shop, having inbreeding yellow crazy ants would be absolutely brilliant. 1, I'd be able to have more queens for myself, and 2, I'll be able to share the love. Anyway, that's all for today's video. I really hope you enjoyed the tour. This is the first of a scheduled 2 and 3, so keep your eyes open for that. So, thanks for watching. Hope you have a fab week. May your ants live long and prosper. Until next time, bye!